Welcome to another Halo video today. Today I will be showing you where all the skulls and terminals are, starting with skull number 1 in the Pillar of Autumn. Right from the start, when we exit this little cryo chamber here, you're just going to head to the back corner. Make sure you are in the remastered graphics, otherwise the skull will not show, which is what I'm showing here. So right here we got the iron skull to start with. Now the terminal isn't too far much forward. Basically when you get to the bridge, just before you go to meet Captain Keys, you'll find the terminal just to your left, flashing red right here. Now, on the mission Halo, just going to speed things up here as you have a bit of a walk. You're going to walk straight to this waterfall, and upon your arrival there will be a rock, and the skull will be right behind it. Very simple to see, very easy to get to. Now, on to terminal number 2, still in the mission Halo here. We're basically just going to follow this path that we can drive on the Warthog. And there will be a bright blinking yellow terminal that is super noticeable, very easy to miss, but also very hard not to miss. Depends on which way you go.
Master Chief, I'm going to use your
ship's transcom system to monitor their chatter.
So once you get down this ramp here, it'll just be in this little area. Make sure you have the remastered graphics on or you won't be able to see it at all. So on to the next skull in the mission Halo as well. Once we've cleared that structure with all the Covenant waves of the ships coming in, you're basically going to want to hug the right side of the map here and go up on the rocks, and it will just be at the end on the hill. So onto the Truth and Reconciliation. Once you get onto the ship after clearing all the enemies on the ground, you're going to find this little doorway that's on the right side of the big hangar. Now you have two opportunities to get into this. Opportunity number 1 is when these jackals come out, as you've just seen. Alternatively, you can wait for the hunters to come out and then you can get in there as well. Terminal number 3 is pretty hard to miss as you walk through this room when you're doing the mission normally. If you just go up this little platform here, you'll notice the bright red light. So on to the next mission here, the Silent Cartographer. Basically right when you clear the beach and you get the Warthog dropped off, you're just going to turn around and you're going to head back. It's better to do it now because if you do it later, then you'll have enemies to fight when you get there as well. So you're going to look for this little island structure here, the little hill on your left, and basically there's going to be a pathway here for you to walk up. You're going to head up that little pathway and then follow the top of the island all the way to the end, and the skull will be right there. So terminal number 4 is also on your main route on mission. It's pretty hard to miss. Right when you come across this room with the 2 big hunters here that you got to deal with, you'll notice this bright light blinking right in the back. So onto the skull here. For this you're going to need grenades. You are going to have to grenade jump, or you can use the Warthog, but I find the grenade jump works best. Put on the skulls that increase the physics of explosions and things, that way you can lob yourself forward farther and much easier. Immediately turn to the right after you've used the console, and then throw a grenade right where you see me put it and time that jumping correctly. Once you're up there, just walk to the end and the skull will be right there for the picking. On to the next. So this one is also a grenade jump in Assault in the Control Room, the first one you come through. This room is the only room that will have a structure like this. So basically you're just going to want to line yourself up with one of the main doorways here. I prefer this side. Use a plasma grenade preferably. Get yourself onto that little tower. Just put the grenade in the spot I do. Line yourself up with this center line as you can see I'm doing, and time that jump. And the skull will be right inside here waiting for you. So later on in Assault on the Control Room, once you have the Scorpion and you get to this first area with the bridges, if you just go straight ahead and look down on these little pipes, you'll notice the skull is just sitting right there. Very easy to get. Just be careful you don't almost kill yourself like I did. So once you get a little farther in Assault in the Control Room and you enter this outside bridge area, there's a Banshee you're able to steal. You can also return to this area later in the mission. Just fly down here and you'll notice that the terminal is just inside on the hill. Just turn to your left when you get down here and it'll be right there, very yellow, very noticeable. So in the mission 343 Guilty Spark, basically just following the path I'm going, head to the normal area that you would where the Flood are in store waiting for you, but instead of going inside the structure, we're going to go a little off to the left and stick on the hillside, to which you will then drop down between some trees and you will see the skull sitting there. Just follow this path. And then as you can see, between those trees is the skull waiting for ye. Now, right at the end, pretty much, of 343 Guilty Spark, as you're going to exit the structure, you're going to utilize the elevator and jump up on top of right there, which you can see that bright yellow light indicating where the terminal is. And then you can, of course, call the elevator back down so that you can exit again. So in the mission in the library, the first skull here is right in the room where you spawn. You're just going to walk a little ahead. You'll notice these 4 square little rooms in the corner where the Flood are jumping out of. If you go to the very last one and grenade jump into it, the black eye skull will be right there. And like I said, just go in before you enter that big circle room. Now a little later on in the library, once you've reached the 3rd floor, instead of continuing on as you normally would, just go along the edges of this circular room here, to which you can see the terminal, and you can just get over there, just do some crouch jumps and you'll get over there, and you can also get back the same way. Now, right before the ending of the library, before you grab the index, do not walk too close to that platform or the mission will end. Instead of grabbing the index, you're going to go around and the skull will be hidden behind this little square structure here. If you're unsure if you're in the right area or not, just look for that big blue beam. It's the only time that you will see it that visible is right at the end. Now on to 2 betrayals, basically right at the start after you get rid of these pesky sentinels, you're just going to walk to the other side of this little circle here and you'll notice the terminal flashing bright yellow. Very easy to see, very easy to get to.
Of the available data, I believe the best.
Now fast forward, once you're headed towards the 3rd structure for Cortana here, basically what you're going to want to do is get yourself a Banshee and then fly exactly where I do. Where there is a Wraith on Assault in the Control Room, you'll notice there is a skull in its place. Alright, and as we get closer, you notice that the skull is right there. I think the Piñata skull is probably one of my favorites. Now onto the mission Keys. Basically right when you get into the room where Keys is and you discover he's a horrible mutant monster, you're going to notice the terminal is right below him. You can get it now or after you talk to him. Or, I guess, it. Now onto the very last mission of the game. Basically you're going to come across the cryo chamber room and all you're going to want to do is head up the ladder. You end up going this way through the normal campaign mission. This is really hard to miss. Basically you're going to ice these 2 sentinels here, not shoot the window like an idiot like I did, and then get the terminal that you see flashing bright red at the end here. And now for the final skull of the game, Grunt Birthday Party. Basically right as you are approaching the end of the mission and Foe Hammer's getting shot down, you're going to notice the skull is just on your right there at the end of this little platform, so carefully park the Warthog and then head on up.
Two Covenant Banshees are approaching on your 6. Evade. Say again, evade.
Now, hopefully you weren't trying to do anything important like I was, but, I was trying to complete the mission as well, and unfortunately, as I got in my Warthog, the Banshees decided that they would make me do the run all over again, which is so tedious and annoying, but yeah, I guess this is what I get. Thanks for watching, I hope this was informative. See ya!